I've spent over 10 years doing SEO for e-commerce brands from small Shopify stores to large retailers with thousands of products. I've seen what consistently works and also what consistently fails. So this video is a complete guide to e-commerce SEO based on all of that knowledge I've gained over the last decade, and I've distilled everything down to the most practical things so you can start seeing results as soon as possible. I'll show you exactly how to structure your site, target the right keywords, how to optimize your pages, and how to build authority. Let's get into it. How e-commerce SEO actually works. The first thing I want to do is set the frame on what e-commerce SEO actually is, because a lot of brands are going off the wrong definition. The goal isn't to rank number one for a single broad keyword, it's to build visibility across all the searches your buyers are doing at every stage of their journey, from browsing a category to looking up a specific product before they buy. And the search result page itself looks very different now than it did a few years ago. You've got AIO reviews at the top, shopping results, feature snippets, people also ask boxes, and then traditional organic links underneath all of that. So when I talk about ranking well throughout this video, I mean showing up across that full picture for the terms that actually drive purchases. I've seen brands rank in their top positions for a broad category term and still see no increase in sales, because a lot of people using that broad term are still researching and they're not actually ready to buy. And I've seen brands sitting in positions 3 through 5 for dozens of specific searches and generating more revenue than the brand sitting at number 1 for a broad term. So my point is, what actually matters is whether the people landing on your site are actually ready to make a purchase. Site architecture and technical foundations. Now, the reason architecture comes before keywords and content is simple. If the structure underneath is wrong, everything you build on top of it underperforms. Google needs to be able to crawl your site, understand how it's organized, and know which pages matter the most before it can rank any of them properly. A well-written category page that Google can't properly crawl, or that's competing against 3 other pages for the same search, is always going to fall short. And the hierarchy that works for e-commerce always follow the same 3 levels. Your homepage sits at the top and represents the brand. Category pages sit in the middle and serve buyers who are browsing a type of product. Lastly, product pages sit at the bottom and serve buyers who know what they want and are close to purchasing. When that structure is clear, Google can match the right page to the right search intent every time. Now, the most common structural problem I see across e-commerce sites is cannibalisation. Cannibalisation is when multiple pages on your site are targeting the same or very similar searches. So instead of one strong page ranking well, Google splits its attention across 2 or 3 weaker ones, and none of them perform as well as they should. For example, we worked with a manufacturer whose site had been live for over 10 years, and over time, duplicate pages had built up targeting the same high-value product searches. The products on that site retail between £5,000 and £20,000 per transaction, so the cost of having the wrong page ranking was pretty significant. So we identified where the overlap was, applied canonical tags pointing to the page we wanted to rank, and removed the duplicates from the site navigation. Once Google processed those changes, the right pages started performing. From a technical standpoint, there are a few specific things that tend to cause the most damage on e-commerce sites. Crawl budget gets wasted when Google is spending time on redirect chains, parameter URLs from filters and facets, or product variant pages that don't need to be indexed individually. For stores with large catalogs, that wasted crawl time means your most important pages get less attention than they should. Page speed is the other one, particularly on mobile, because slow load times increase the number of people who leave before they see the page at all. Now I'm going to share a specific technical issue that we diagnosed on an e-commerce client of ours and how it was hurting their performance and what fixing it led to. So the client I'm going to talk about is PassMeFast. We recently won the Northern Digital Awards Best SEO Campaign 2026 for our work with them, and it was a very simple issue of cannibalisation. It's quite common, I found, with e-commerce sites where in terms of hierarchy, they've got the homepage that's targeting a very specific term that potentially could be better placed on one of the collection pages, or let's say a category page. So for this particular client, they sell intensive driving courses, and when people are searching for this type of query, it's high intent. They want to see what courses are available. They want to go on to the next steps of their journey quite quickly. There's all kinds of information that helps support that journey in terms of how you can fast track your course, etc., and all these kind of things. So what they had was an old prices page that wasn't built fit for purpose, and what we did was optimized that prices page to become more for courses page. We still got prices in there, in the title. The main target query is now intensive driving courses. We essentially fixed the intent behind the page. It's got all the course details and all the various information that will help somebody make a purchasing decision, FAQs, etc. And the homepage is now more for broader kind of category page, where it goes after the driving lessons as a much broader query and other associated terms that are best placed for the homepage to target those terms. And I just want to show you the results of that in terms of the effect this can have on a business. Now, as you can see, there's quite a few technical issues that we were able to resolve working with the client. I'm not going to show you the actual clicks, but this is actual data from SEOtesting.com, and you can kind of see, you know, through all the various things that we fixed. They had a big robots.txt issue back in around May 2024, and then you can kind of see the prices to courses that got fixed around there, around June 2024, and you can kind of see this huge surge of traffic, you know, after all those technical issues were fixed. So I just wanted to kind of show you the results that you can achieve when you actually focus on a lot of the technical optimizations that a lot of e-commerce brands do miss. By the way, if you want us to come take a proper look at your e-commerce site, identify what's holding back your organic performance, and tell you exactly what to prioritize first, you can book a free intro call with us by clicking the first link in the description. Now let's keep going. Keyword research and targeting. Once the structure is solid, keyword research is about working out exactly which searches each page should be going after. And the starting point is understanding that your category pages and your product pages need completely different keyword strategies. Category pages should target browsing searches because someone searching for women's running shoes or outdoor furniture sets knows the type of product they want but hasn't decided on a specific item yet. Those are high volume competitive terms, and they're the searches where the biggest traffic opportunities sit for e-commerce stores. Getting these pages right is where most of your traffic and revenue potentially actually sits, which is why category page keyword research deserves the most time and attention. Now I'm going to briefly explain a category page for one of our clients so you can see exactly how we built it with search and their audience in mind. So I'm just going to show you an example of a typical category level keyword search that one of our potential customers could search for. So I'm going to go bath seats, and you can see Google's autocomplete's got quite a few options here, and our core audience are adults or the elderly. So I'm just going to go elderly. As you can see, there's quite a number of paid ads, and then our client is there in one of the top positions. So it's actually the top organic position for this particular search. And as you can see, the meta title pulls in, and you can kind of see the categorization that we've gone for this particular client. You know, bath seats sits within bathing, and bathing is within the bathroom category. So it's a sub collection in terms of Shopify. As you know, Shopify's got that flat structure, but we were able to get that deeper structure using the breadcrumbs. And we've got the H1, kind of gives you some nice visual cues in terms of how many products are within this particular collection. Nice description, longer description at the bottom. Generally speaking, that's how I would ensure to get to the products as soon as possible on any e-commerce template. You kind of have a short description and longer description at the bottom, below the fold, below the products, because you want people to navigate to the products immediately. And as you scroll through the products, got this sticky filter, which is quite helpful. Some e-commerce stores may want people to add to cart straight away, but for this particular buying audience, they do want to view the product first. So that's why we've got this particular journey, and then it goes to the specific products that person could be searching for. Their audience, we ensured that we had the product name as well as the descriptor for their audience. So in this case, it's adults, sometimes it's the elderly, and sometimes it's other descriptors that the audience would be using. Yeah, that's how we built the page, and they're just following very simple principles in terms of e-com. They've got some nice visual cues as well, bestsellers being highlighted or any promotional items they want to go for. And because they stock a number of different brands, people search via brand, or they want to understand which brand they want to go after. So you can kind of see the brands that they stock, as well as you know, all the product information. They do also have a physical catalog that has product numbers, so you can clearly see the product numbers are visible as you scroll through all the different products within the grid on the collection page. I'd always try and add this kind of section on a collection page, you know, key benefits for anyone who's potentially buying the product, as well as related content that people could view. We built these helpful collections, so additional collection pages, not really designed for attracting clicks. through organic search, but just essentially helping people understand what use cases there are for all the different products. So if somebody needs help with a bath, maybe they're not familiar with the type of products available, they can go to this kind of collection and then they can continue on their journey. So in terms of categories, there's a very clever way you can integrate different, I'll say, customer lenses and how they would view your products in different scenarios. Of course, you can align it with search as well as how the buyers are actually going to use the products in terms of their everyday use. So this is just an example of that. Now, product pages, on the other hand, need to target specific high intent searches because someone searching for a specific product name, a model number, or very detailed description is much closer to buying. So product pages need to be the clearest, most digestible answer to that specific query. And trying to rank a product page for a broad category term is a mistake I see constantly because it ends up fighting against your own category pages for the same searches, and neither of them performs as well as it should. Using the same example of Manage Your Home, I'm going to show you how we've done the same thing for product related searches. So one of the key products is called a Sarah Steady. Just gonna put that in, and then you can see there's a number of products that come up in terms of search, and then as you scroll down, there's a lot of ads, so it's very competitive space. You see all the sponsored results, including our client, and then you can see that we do appear organically. And as you go into the product page, again, we've got a very similar structure in terms of the collections. We're ensuring that there's a hierarchy for every product as well, because that's really important for showing Google as well as users kind of where the product sits within hierarchy of the site and what other products could be available, because there could be other potential products that this particular search or this particular user searching for this product may be interested in. So if they're interested in this Sarah Steady, they could be interested in other hoists and transfer aids, so they can quickly navigate to those kind of products. And how we've structured this in terms of the hierarchy, the visual cues, of course, you've got the big images front and center, as well as other video, as well as 3D content that are available, which is pretty cool. And then you've got, the rich description, again, short description at the top, and then they can click through to a fuller description at the bottom, which could include other more visual information, demonstration videos, reviews, questions, delivery returns, product brochures, any rich information that they'd want to see. What we've tried to optimize for as well is additional products that they may want to purchase alongside this, because what we've realized is that there aren't a lot of people who buy this product as well as purchase something else. We noticed that the specific audience that does buy this product, they are probably a caregiver or within a very professional setting, so they are ordering this on behalf of a patient, so they typically just want to search for this product and purchase this product by itself. But there is definitely a clear opportunity to have additional add-on products that are less value but could potentially increase the average order value. So you definitely want to look for those opportunities when you are trying to optimize your product pages. And that's essentially it. You just want to make these pages as useful as possible for your potential customers. So any additional information that will help them, you don't want them navigating from this page and searching across your site for additional information such as FAQs on another page. You want them to stay on this page because the goal of this page is for them to click add to basket. That's the next step you want people to take as they navigate to a product page. So the whole product page is designed for users to take that next step, just to have all the information in one place. Beyond page types, there's another mistake I see constantly when it comes to keyword research. How a business organizes its products internally often looks completely different from how a buyer describes what they want in a search bar. When we worked with Manage at Home, a large online retailer, on their Shopify Plus migration, one of the highest impact changes we made was remapping their product relationships to match how customers actually searched rather than how the business had always labeled things internally. And that single change had a direct impact on how the pages performed once the new site launched. On-page optimization, content, and authority. Let's talk about what goes on the pages themselves, starting with the elements that most directly affect whether Google ranks you for your target terms. First, your H1 and title tags are the most important on-page signals for any given page. It's what appears in the search results and tells Google and the buyer exactly what the page is about. For category pages, it needs to include the primary keyword clearly and describe what a buyer is going to find there. And I've tested this directly with clients and the results are pretty clear. We ran a simple homepage title tag test test for one e-commerce client, going from generic branding to specific purchase intent language that matched what people were actually searching for. Over 26 days, click-through rate improved by 41% and daily clicks to the homepage went up 18%. Then for a separate client, we optimized H1s and title tags across 131 category pages using the descriptors their audience actually searches with. That test produced a 66% improvement in clicks across 59 pages in one round, 44% across 72 pages in the second round, and a 23% increase in add to carts and checkouts went up 40%. Both of those results came purely from changing the words on the page, nothing else. Now, beyond just title tags, your category page, descriptions, and your product descriptions are two areas I see people not putting enough effort into. Both descriptions literally tell Google what the page covers and help it understand which searches to surface that page for. So they need to go beyond what the manufacturer wrote and answer the questions a buyer actually has at the point of purchase. Make sure to include what makes buying from you specifically worth it: returns policy, shipping, warranty, any detail that removes hesitation. And informational content also has a big role to play in your SEO. For example, a guide on how to choose the right product pulls in buyers earlier in the research and builds familiarity with the brand before they land on a commercial page. When that content links through to the relevant category pages with descriptive text that includes the target keyword, it passes authority down to the pages where purchases actually happen. That's the internal linking flow that makes everything amplify, running from informational content down to category pages and from category pages down to individual products. And then there's the off-site side of things, which is where authority building comes in. When other credible sites link to yours, it signals to Google that your pages are worth ranking. For e-commerce SEO, the most natural routes to earning links are through press coverage, supply or brand partnerships, and content that's genuinely useful enough that others cite or reference it. Reviews and brand mentions across third-party platforms matter too, particularly as AI search pulls from a wider pool of sources to decide which brands to surface. Now I'm going to share a specific example of an e-commerce client that we've helped earn a few backlinks recently, as well as some press coverage from some really authoritative sites. And I'll kind of show you the process in terms of how we've done that and kind of how we construct the proposal. So the client in question is called the Brick Tile Company, and this is kind of what we've designed for them in terms of the opportunities we've seen with their brand and why digital PR is crucial for LLM visibility, so AI search, as it's becoming more prominent in terms of SEO. So 90% of AI visibility is actually driven by citations from earned media. That's research done by zero-click search. And also this is additional research that's been conducted by Ahrefs in terms of what factors are the biggest in terms of impact when it comes to AI overviews. And you can see branded web mentions is at the top, branded anchors, branded search volume. It's all brand, right? Of course, you've got a number of backlinks, etc. DR, in terms of the strength of the site, plays a massive role as well. So AI platforms like ChatGPT, usage is, skyrocketing, and we know that people are increasingly trusting these platforms. So SEO and GEO, the debate continues, but certainly it does have a role to play. And what we've tried to design for every client that we help when it comes to coverage and improving their authority is looking at, keyword performance as a key metric. So for them, their main category keyword is brick slips. So our whole goal with any campaign is to gain the coverage and links to a specific campaign page, and that campaign page filters down to priority, it could be categories in terms of what they want to go for, so specific collections, let's say it's fireplace brick slips or DIY feature walls, or maybe it's the head category terms. So that's kind of how we're going to measure the growth and measure the impact of our results. And we did a backlink gap analysis, just looking at major competitors, where are they linking to versus our client, and we did see that there was a range of various publications that we could appear on, and we've actually got one of these key links recently. I just want to talk you through that now. So this is the website, and that's kind of confirmation from Sarah, who we work very closely with, and she's confirmed that we've got a couple of links, and this is the URL, and you can see Brick Tile Company, that's our client reference there, a nice backlink to the homepage, and this is an article talking about 7 hallway red flags buyers notice when viewing a home. And House Beautiful is a major publication, they're an industry leader according to SEMrush, So this domain has an excellent backlink profile, better than 90% of the domains in its category. So these are the kind of links that we definitely want to acquire moving forward. And the entire goal is essentially just to make sure that we're able to appear more prominently for essentially highly competitive search terms like brick slips as an example. When you get all of these foundations right, the results start to compound quickly. One of our e-commerce clients saw organic search revenue grow by 53% after we fixed the foundations and aligned the content to buying intent. Another D2C brand we work with saw first-time buyers increase by 38% following an audit and content overhaul. In both cases, as organic grew, they were able to reduce their paid ad spend. So if you're running an e-commerce store and you want a clear view of where your SEO currently stands and what it would take to start building that kind of organic momentum, then click the first link in the description to book a free intro call with us. We work with a small number of e-commerce and B2B brands at a time, so everyone works directly with the specialists on their account, with no account manager in the middle. Again, you can book a call by clicking the first link in the description. And if you want to go deeper on how to create SEO content that ranks, then check out this video next.